Hello, my name is Sam.
My name is Hannah.
And I'm Ping. Our project is Detroit Hydrosource, a vision of new monumentality through the lens of a green new economy. The green new economy is defined as an economy that results in improved human well-being and reduced inequalities over the long term, while not exposing future generations to significant environmental risks and ecological scarcities. A green economy recognizes the value of natural resources and works to preserve and protect them. Among the 6 key elements of a green economy is water conservation and management. Everything we do requires water in some capacity, from drinking and washing to agricultural and industrial practices. Water in the green economy focuses on the socioeconomic opportunities provided by water management.
Traditional monumental architecture across the United States typically serves to honor the oppressive and exploitative patriarchal legacies that founded this country. More recently, we can observe a shift from the dedication of architectural monuments to the endowment of funds, which only further privatizes the ailing system. In contrast to traditional monumentality, our new monumentality acts as a software that can be integrated into existing infrastructure to jumpstart the regrowth of a decaying urban fabric. This begins by implementing experimental green technologies and industries into existing urban fabrics to bring a higher quality of life to its inhabitants. New monumental architecture suggests a shift not only in the design, but even more so in the function. Instead of being constructed with the intent to draw attention with their size and design, these structures focus on their impact within the community and work to forge a path for innovation and development.
This digital model showcases an abandoned urban fabric that has been repurposed to create a new space that, through green technologies, has found a renewed purpose. In most parts, the grid has remained constant, while in other portions, the grid has been altered to better serve the purposes of green technologies. This combination of utilizing what is existing while also repurposing other aspects serves to further sustainability goals.
Once the 4th largest city in America and a significant economic driver, Detroit has been on a steady decline over the past 50 years. The city of Detroit has never truly recovered from the economic recessions of 1929 and 2008, as in both cases, many citizens were left without jobs due to the crash of the automotive industry. The transition to a green economy presents opportunities for the creation of decent jobs that value workers' opinions, protect their rights, and provide them with means necessary to live comfortably. Throughout the rise and fall of the city, the Packard automotive plant has stood as a symbol of innovation and modernization. During World War I and II, the plant halted production of automobiles to aid in war efforts with the manufacturing of airplane engines. At its peak, the plant employed upwards of 40,000 workers before closing its doors in 1956. The concept of new monumentality creates an opportunity for Packard to continue its legacy by accommodating the new industrial sector forged by the Green New Deal. Today, the Packard plant sits dilapidated and abandoned. Our goal is to utilize the construction of this monument as a new beginning, signifying societal progression that inspires both cultural and economic advancements within the community.
Looking at our site as a whole, there are neighboring communities that have been affected by the rise and fall of the Packard automotive plant, and today they sit idle. We noticed a trend of parks and public transit stops that surround the site, giving us the opportunity to introduce a central anchor that can utilize and adapt to the existing infrastructure.
The Hydrosource is our solution to the inaccessibility of clean drinking water to the city of Detroit and introducing a new timeless industrial system back into the city. The Hydrosource is a system that draws energy from the sun to power a series of machines that pull moisture from the air and condense and filter water from that air into clean drinking water. While this system already exists at a small scale, the size of one solar panel, we believe that this can work when introduced at a master plan level. With the architecture functioning as these machine parts, we can radicalize the idea of solar water to become a viable and renewable source of collecting and distributing clean drinking water. Additional programming on site can benefit from both the energy and water production from our architecture, as well as give and take resources from each other to produce a self-sustaining and net zero master plan. With a strong emphasis on education and sustainability, this system can be the catalyst for the city of Detroit to return to the economic success of the past and inspire a new era of green industry.
The strategy for this project's massing was to showcase the green technology through the architecture, while also framing the existing structure in a way that highlights its history and presence on the site. Additional massing was added to provide space for the hydrosource system. A courtyard was created to show the water created by the hydrosource. Green space for leisure purposes was added to the opposite side of the site, below ground. The reservoir system exists underground and collects its water from the pool in the courtyard. The massing was further cut away to provide optimal solar gain for the panels on the roof and provide circulation throughout the site. A light rail that provides public transportation to and from the site is implemented throughout the structure. The completed massing provides new spaces specifically to fit in the new systems, while the existing structure is left intact as spaces that are flexible enough to accommodate various programming. The program of our site breaks down into 4 main typologies: industry, education, mixed use, and agriculture. The programs were designed to seamlessly work together to encourage an immersive user experience.
Maintaining the footprint of the existing Packard plant was important to the design of our site, and at ground level, the user is reminded of the architecture that once was, but now populated and flourishing with the implementation of our new monumentality. Our story follows a family of 3 visiting the Detroit Hydrosource. The family is new to Detroit, moving to the city because of the opportunity that the parents got to start as engineers on the Hydrosource fan units. They arrive by light rail in the morning on the southeast corner of the site and spend the day experiencing all that Packard site has to offer, from the greenhouse, farm-to-table dining, retail shopping, and touring the immersive educational sculpture lawns, and industry facilities towards the northwest end of the site.
The interactions of our systems and programming can be seen holistically in this section. The underground reservoir can be seen collecting water generated by the factory. This water will then be distributed for use throughout the site and city. Most of the space under the factory is open to the air. It provides a nice shaded space from which to view the hydrosource system and the waterfall. A light rail provides public transportation to and from the site. The mixed-use space contains retail and commercial spaces, while the courtyards that these spaces are centered around feature sculptures that tell the story of Detroit. A spiral staircase is built around the iconic water tower to provide circulation to and from the underground's green space. The transition to a green economy requires a shift from current practices to more sustainable ones. The investment in the provision of water management systems has shown to be one of the most effective ways to expedite this transition. With the implementation of wastewater management infrastructure, as much as 90% of energy and 70% of water use can be saved. Each of the buildings on our site is connected underground by a reservoir system that serves to collect, purify, and store the water generated by the hydrosource, as well as redistribute wastewater and compost to the community garden to be used as natural fertilizer. This system is an example of how our water management infrastructure can be integrated into cities at a larger scale.
As mentioned earlier, our family arrives early in the morning on the public light rail, and upon seeing the iconic Packard water tower, excitedly the daughter takes out her new camera, snapping a photo of their view, her father encouraging her to capture exciting moments throughout the day on a Polaroid that he passed down to her from his childhood. Hungry for breakfast, a local recommends that they visit the Greenhouse Cafe, where they have year-round fresh produce from both the outdoor garden spaces and the indoor hydroponics technologies.
Utilizing resources from the hydrosource factory, like excess gray water and solar energy, the greenhouse portion of the site operates as an extension of the technologies expressed above ground. This being the only sunken portion of the site, it provides a picturesque retreat from the hustle of ground level. The facade system of the building, once in its place, has been repurposed below grade, allowing room for programming like cafes, hydroponics, retail, and art studios.
Following breakfast down in the garden, the family takes the spiral stairs back up to ground level to continue their day, noticing that the site has become busier as students, employees, and visitors to the site slowly start pouring in. After meeting a local water technician over breakfast, he had offered to take the daughter all the way to the top of the water tower, an experience that not many get and that she couldn't refuse. Here she got a great view of Packard and the hydrosource, and the care that had gone into preserving the historic site and its facade, while transforming it into this great new opportunity for Detroit. This made her excited to be living in a new city and excited for her parents to start their new job.
The train station from which the family arrived connects directly to the mixed-use portion of our site via a covered skywalk. Upon entering, the visitor is welcomed into a modern market space with vendors offering a variety of locally made products. Located below the market is retail space that can be utilized by larger boutiques and specialty shops. The double-height spaces on the ground floor, surrounded with porticos, emulate the opulent characteristics of traditional monumental architecture and allow for the interior spaces to receive abundant natural light.
Continuing their journey, the family spends their time shopping from local vendors in the mixed-use portion of the site, amazed by all the new businesses that this project attracted, talking to locals, and eating at a locally owned farm-to-table restaurant for lunch.
Our approach to the existing architecture of the Packard automotive industry was to preserve its facade, structural systems, and integrity wherever possible, while carefully transforming and retrofitting it for our new monumental programming. The ground-level footprint of the floor plan has been stepped back, allowing for increased community flow along the exterior, while storefronts occupy the double-height space. Punch skylights follow the structural grid along the perimeter of the roof to assure the light would reach as many interior spaces as possible. Circulation has been pushed to the perimeter as well to open up interior spaces and act as a connection between interior and exterior.
The family joins a tour group as they make their way towards the education and factory portion of the site. They overhear the history of the site, how it was once a prominent automotive factory, seeing reminders of the past brought to life through artwork and sculptures on display by local artists.
The education portion of the program exists in 2 buildings located within the boundary of the HydroSource factory. Classrooms, lecture halls, and office spaces are located in the outer building, while the inner building is reserved for research labs and a library. The main research lab, accessible by a grand central staircase located on the top floor of the building, offers panoramic views of the site and its surroundings.
Getting to tour the education facilities that the site offers makes the daughter excited for her future, and it makes the parents excited for their opportunities to get to work somewhere that puts education and the community first. Following the education center, the family passes by the light rail that they arrived in earlier that day, and notice that it cuts through the new factory addition and overlooks the central courtyard and reflecting reservoir.
The inner workings of the water generating factory can be seen within these silos. The water generated by the HydroSource is channeled in a way that it exits through the factory's facade. This creates an artificial waterfall that can be seen from the interior courtyard. The silos surround a structural core that houses the vertical circulation. Walking platforms provide viewing and maintenance access to the silos. Water is distributed throughout the site and city via underground pipes connected to the reservoir. Underground tunnels accessed from the central cores provide maintenance access to the reservoirs.
As their day nears an end, the family stops for a break on the central deck of the HydroSource reservoir and enjoys the perfect fall weather. They are amazed by the waterfall that seemingly comes straight out of the facade of the building. The large and seemingly overwhelming scale of the factory is balanced out by the lightness of the materials, colors, and openness of the facade below. Before the family makes their way back to the light rail station, the parents want a closer look at where they will be working every day and make their way to the atrium space of the HydroSource, beneath the silos cores. As the sun starts to set, they are taken back by the shadows that are cast by the columns of the existing structure that was once a car factory. The daughter runs out to get one last picture to remember their day at the Detroit HydroSource site. Sad that she has to leave, but excited to get to visit as a new resident of Detroit and hopeful for the future of the city and other cities like it.
At the heart of the Green New Economy is sustainable development, and at the core of sustainable development is water, the most crucial natural resource for socioeconomic development. Water is also at the heart of adaptation to climate change, serving as the crucial link between the climate system, human society, and the environment. Water is an irreplaceable resource that is fundamental to human well-being. It is only renewable if well managed. While water can pose a serious challenge to sustainable development, if managed efficiently, water can play a key role in strengthening the resilience of social, economic, and environmental systems.